Look at
There we go.
that.
There we go. Setting up the webinar.
Are we live?
Getting there. I think we are, right? Yeah, we are live. Wait, yes, we're live. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for patiently waiting. We had a little technology. But anyway, my name is Stacey Jill Calvert. I am the Director of Program for the ClexCon Film Festival. We really appreciate you coming tonight. Come hang with us. We're so happy that we have the full cast of Season of Love and Director Kristen Baker and our amazing, I just say awesome sauce moderator extreme, Dana Piccoli. And I'm gonna leave it to her. So, on the way.
Hey everybody! Oh my God, I just got such chills because I'm so happy to be back with all of you and with this amazing group of folks. Sorry we are a little fashionably late because we're also fashionable. So I'm Dana Piccoli. I am your moderator for this evening. And I just wanted to ask the question, Hallmark who? Because for eons, queer audiences have clamored for a Hollywood romance, a holiday romance, all of their own. And in 2019, Tello Films and writer Kat Trammell answered the call. Season of Love is a sweet and always sincere story about 6 queer women and the friendships and romances that deck the halls around the holiday. Please welcome to this panel, director Kristen Baker, actors Dominique Provost-Chalkley, Jessica Emma Goss, Laura Allen, Janelle Marie Rodriguez, and Sandra Mae Frank, and our wonderful interpreter, Ashley Change. Welcome to all of you. Merry Christmas. Merry freaking Christmas. I'm so hot right now because I live in the South and I have this on for ambiance.
I was wondering.
So, my first question is, how the hell are all of you doing?
Good. How are we doing? Good.
Going crazy,
What an
but
interesting time to be alive.
A little frustrated with my internet.
I think that's everyone. But everyone's safe and sound and happy and healthy as much as we can be.
yeah.
How about
Absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely.
As you can see, everyone listening at home and watching at home, this is a very rowdy crowd. So I'm going to have issues moderating this panel. I can tell already. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to Season of Love. Kristen, I want to
Also
start.
an added level of like,
What was that, Dominique?
I was just saying like, this is a new thing, channels with the Zoom chats. So imagine that everything in this at the same time. So we will be mindful of that for you too, my love.
All right, Kristen, let us start with you. What was the inspiration behind creating this holiday film?
I was in the airport with my co-producers, Danielle Jablonski and Ashley Arnold, and we had just gotten done shooting Passages, and this was around October, and we were talking about what was the first movie that we wanted to do as Tello as a company, and Ashley is a massive fan of Hallmark holiday rom-coms. And she just said, you know what? No one's going to make one for our community. And that's what we need to do. Our first movie needs to be a holiday.
Yes.
And so really it was like, and we were all just like, okay, cool. That sounds good. And then we did the pitch to production contest. So that's how it happened. Like she was just really adamant that the community has been, I mean, and you really leading the charge, Dana, with the
I harass, just if you don't know, I harass Hallmark on like a yearly basis, starting in like October.
I think Ashley sort of saw all the frustration that you had every holiday season and just thought, no one's going to do this if we don't, in 2019. So that was it. That's how we launched
You're
Pitch.
welcome.
Yeah.
It's you. Our inspiration.
credit?
So I just love to know what made you decide to do it with pitch to production versus, you know, searching out a screenwriter?
I think one of the things that I've always have been passionate about with Tello is giving, there are so many talented people in our community that have stories to share that don't get to share them. And I think we knew there were people out there who had a talent and something to say and who are just as passionate as we were. And so by the end of Pitch to Production, we actually had 3 projects that we are going to do. And so it's Season of Love, Christmas at the Ranch, and Merry and Gay, because there were just too many to just pick one. So that's how much talent is out there who just haven't had a chance or haven't had a break or don't live in New York or Los Angeles. So I think that's kind of like, we always want to find those new voices.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm going to move on to Laura. Laura.
Hit me.
What's your reaction when you suddenly had thousands of queer fans? Because welcome to the party. I mean, you can't wear lady tux and not expect sort of adoration.
Well, I think, first of all, I don't have a Twitter, so I was getting a lot of getting a lot of screenshots from Kristen and some of the other producers and my friends who were sending me these screenshots, and that was a very welcome surprise, because the last role that I had was my character in The Young and the Restless was kind of hated. So she got a lot of hate on Twitter. So it was actually really nice to receive so much love. But that's been, I think, one of the best parts about this. And then being able to meet a lot of the fans in person during the Season of Love events. That just has been a really incredible experience. So getting to put faces to the words and the names I'm hearing online. Some people reach out to me, and I just think it's really lovely, and I appreciate it, and I don't take it for granted. So thanks.
Were you told that queer women audiences are extremely loyal and that will like follow you through the gates of hell throughout your career? Like that's what we do.
I have heard that was one of the first things that I did hear was, you know, this is a really loyal fan base, which doesn't surprise me, just because I think as women, we're fierce and we're loyal. And so that really wasn't a surprise to me. But it's just been a really nice, warm welcome, and I appreciate it.
Well, that's great. We're glad to have you. All right, so next question. This is for Sandra. So Ashley. Sandra, you and Jess had one of the funniest and loveliest little lesbian stories that we've seen in ages. What was your experience like working with Jessica and creating this silly and sweet dynamic?
She's here. Okay, I have to remember that. She's here. I have to be nice, only say nice things, but I'm just kidding. But see, we're already very funny. Yeah, I'm already being funny, you know? I think we just have a natural, you know, cute charm, you know, that we kind of connected, and our humor is just kind of awkward, and it's kind of like same thing as me in real life. I'm kind of awkward. So, and we just listened to each other, and it just went off. And we had, even though it's a different language, a different culture, a different lifestyle, we still were able to connect and be attracted to each other. You know, that was the most beautiful relationship that I could have experienced. Whatever happened, those people were meant to be together. And you never know. I never knew what to expect, but Jess is just phenomenal. The first time she came up to me, I was very nervous, but gosh, then we went later on, it was just so comfortable, and we had just a strong relationship, and I found to be more comfortable and funny with her because we were playing with so often. And I like, with hearing actors, I kind of like to push them to make them I don't want them to recluse. I kind of want them to break out. I don't want them to recluse. Yeah, and she went at full force and did it. She didn't worry about anything. You know, didn't worry about stepping over the lines because I'm deaf or anything like that. I'm deaf, I'm loud, I'm blunt. I don't take any crap.
Was Jess's ASL up to snuff? Shaking her head.
At first, no. She learned with the ASL master on set, and they taught her the translation of her lines, and that's literally ASL. So it's a big difference. People just assume they see hearing people on screen like, oh, you know ASL. No. She's learned the translations of the lines.
It's acting, people. It's acting.
Right. But they can, you know, maybe it'll convince people to be like, oh, I want to learn more about sign language and get those facial expressions. So it becomes more comfortable over time. And that's the same thing with their character. Jessica's character wanted to do the same thing. So thank you for being open-minded and wanted to learn.
Oh, thank you. You were amazing. You are amazing. And I would never have guessed that you were nervous. I was really nervous. And you are just, you are very blunt and funny and sarcastic. And it was so great because I didn't know what to expect, and it worked so well for our dynamic, for the characters that we were playing. And you did make me really appreciate ASL and the beauty of it so much. And in fact, I have been trying to learn, and I've been trying to sign up for these classes, and apparently you're making it really, really cool, because I cannot get in to a class in LA at all. Like they're like sold out. So I promise at some point, oh, cats in the background, it is something that I want to get better. But you are phenomenal, and all of your success is so fantastic. And it was just such a privilege to work with you. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. Likewise, very much so.
Thank you.
You know, it's such an interesting dynamic to be away from each other. And when I'm used to being on a stage with all of you, right? Like feeling the energy, feeling the love, feeling the tension, feeling all these things. But I really can feel the love that you all have for each other as castmates, even through this weird gay Brady Bunch situation.
It was a like shockingly harmonious, lovely set. Like everyone was super positive. We kept rapping early, like on an indie film. What? Yeah, thank you. When does that ever happen? It never happens. And it was just really collaborative. And
when we listen to each other, that's when it happens. There's many actors that don't listen to each other, you know? They just kind of get in so to themselves, and they just worry about themselves so much. And, you know, did I say that right? Or did I do that right? Which is, you know, fine if that's your process, but it's just listening and just being there.
I would agree with that.
I think that's why we all connected so well. We really listened to each other, and we worked together, and we didn't just play, you know, but we did do both. It was raw.
It was raw, and also it sort of like spilled over into sort of our downtime or in between scenes, or when things are being turned around or whatever, because we all have such different life experiences. Like I've never worked with a deaf actress before. We had a very diverse set, sort of in all manner of ways, and so we were all just sort of really curious and excited to be working together. And like Sandra said, we just listened and wanted to know, and the responses were very organic. So yay us.
And to listen to each other a little bit more, right? I think that's a good life lesson, period. Well, Jess, since we're already kind of talking with you, I wanted to ask you, you have been an out actor in Hollywood for some time, and that's a huge deal. You came out before a lot of people did. What did it mean to you to be able to be a part of something so special and meaningful to the community? I mean, you've been in LGBT projects before, but this has like a really special, warm little place in a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah, I loved it. I'm a big fan of holiday movies, or Christmas movies as they are in England. I have always been, I've been really lucky. I've never had a problem with my sexuality. I've always been like, yay, awesome, I'm great. We're all great.
About yourself. We were like this.
Yeah. So I love getting to do LGBTQ projects, but I do want to do them when they're saying something new and different. And you know, I don't personally feel drawn to watch any more of the traditional coming out story, just because I feel like it's been done a lot. And I also really want to do more work sort of exploring and celebrating, you know, the joy of being LGBTQ and you know, or the normality, the things rather than the traumatizing and all of that. And so I was really drawn to this because, you know, like queer women fall in love and have really close friendships. I love that about this project as well. It's like you really have a sense of the women and their different strong friendships and family bonds and things like that. And they're, you know, that's as much, if not more, a reality of our day-to-day lives than the more dramatic stuff. So I was super excited. I got to play a dork, but I've talked a lot now, so I'm gonna shut up.
Well, Janelle, I'd love to chat with you. You got to make sure you're muted. There we go. Hi, Janelle. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, no, I kept it muted because I'm at my family's house. So I don't know if anyone's going to start talking or yelling. So just to make sure that I hear all of you guys.
Well, we loved you so much in Season of Love. And I just wanted to know for you, what was it like to bridge your existing fans from your other projects, which are very specific, to Season of Love? Like, what was their reaction and how did you kind of like, you know, bridge that gap?
Yeah, I think everyone was just like, was more like surprised. As you, if you don't know, I do more journalism and a lot of sports stuff. So they're like, wait, you act still? Like, because they weren't really sure that if I was doing like multiple things. And then it was also a surprise. I really didn't tell a lot of people. I was trying to wait for like, once like we got like trailers and stuff like that. And they were into the movie. And again, we'd love to see it. So it's been nothing but positive all around. I got no backlash whatsoever.
I love it. I love the thought of like a bunch of football dudes being like, Season of Love is my favorite holiday movie.
Yeah, like it literally, one of the person that recruited me kind of for my job at ESPN, he saw it with his family, with his wife and his 2 kids, and like nothing but good stuff.
That almost made me tear up. I'm serious.
Yeah. It's like, it's been an amazing experience. Like, I know you asked Laura the question, but even like receiving the fan base from the community has been so heartwarming, and like, because you know, you never know what the reaction is going to be. And it's just been nothing but love. And I genuinely am so excited, and like, I feel lucky that I get to be a part of this movie.
Well, now you have 2 things that lesbians love, like queer movie and sports.
It was meant to be.
Ooh, brush that shoulder out, girl.
That what? I missed the last part.
Oh, who just spoke? I missed it.
Sandra said, just brush that shoulder off, girl.
Oh. All right, Emily. Emily, are you there? You're muted, Emily. You're smiling, but you're muted.
Yes.
Emily, I adore you. That's just an aside. I
adore you. We met in the bathroom at ClexaCon last year, and I was wearing my
I have my period shirt right now. Yeah.
And then someone asked for a tampon, and I was like, no, I'm on that Diva Cup life. And then I was like also wearing a period shirt, and it was like a lot.
No, like you were like this amazing little butterfly just flittering about ClexaCon, being like adorable and sweet and like just like so nice. She's a real live like kitten person. Like she's a kitten.
Oh God, thank you.
Okay, so Iris. Your character goes on quite an emotional journey throughout the film, and while we're rooting for Mardu and Iris pretty much from minute 1, but their connection is a slow burn, very, very slow. What are your thoughts on being able to tease out that connection to have such a satisfying conclusion?
That is one of my favorite things, a slow burn and like, you know, set up and payoff, like that dynamic, that is storytelling. And so I was so excited about this storyline, and it was hard to keep track of that arc shooting out of order. And so I think Kristen did a really great job reminding us where we were and calibrating the performances to create that. You know, she was watching it in her head and achieved it. So that's all due to her. But I love, that's like my favorite thing in movies, when there's just like just a kiss at the end of the movie, and it's like, yes, you know, cheers in a movie theater. And like, it's so leveling to want something. And so I think when you're watching a movie and you know that everyone in that theater is wanting the same thing, that's so beautiful. And then when they get it, like, come on.
Well, there's only one thing lesbians love more than adopting rescue animals, and that's a slow burn.
It's more satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. All right, here. Dominique, I feel like I recognize you. I'm not sure though. Maybe we've met sometime before. Weird. Anyway, music is such.
Okay.
Hi. Music is such a big part of Season of Love, and your fans already knew that you had this amazing voice, but singing for real in the film, that was a big deal for you. What does it mean to you to know that those moments were in turn so meaningful to fans, that you were sharing this extra thing that could sometimes make people kind of feel vulnerable?
I'm gonna cut off, which is probably the most important part of the sentence. So I think I need to have that little part again.
Oh, I said, what does it mean to you to know that those moments were in turn so meaningful to your fans, knowing that you were being able to give them something which can be really vulnerable to a person, an artist?
Oh yeah, lovely question. Thanks, Dana. You know, this film for me was, I've said this before, I feel very blessed that it came along my path, and I knew that it was something that was going to be very challenging, and I also knew how many people were going to know how challenging it was for me, which is a very weird thing to experience, because the amazing Earthers and the fans that I've had the fortune of meeting are very much aware of my journey, because I've chosen to speak openly and honestly about the things that I care about and I'm passionate about, that I'm also are challenging for me. So when it came along, when I read the script, I thought, oh, bloody hell. I know I've got to do this, but this is going to be a hard one. And it was, I must say that the whole experience, it did definitely push me into something that all of my body was telling me that I wasn't ready for yet. And yet doing it was, I think, very important and a big lesson in courage and bravery. And we were talking this morning, Kristen and I, and it's been like nearly a year since that shooting, really, because we filmed in May, didn't we, guys? So, you know, May comes around again, and you're thinking, oh, blimey, it's been a year since that experience, and how much I've learned, how much I've, you know, about in and around my music and my performance anxiety. And funnily enough, I watched the movie this morning just to sort of jog my memory on the experiences that we had, and sort of cozy up on the couch, and it was hard to watch. Like, it's the hardest thing I ever have to watch myself in, because there's just, I relate so much to the feelings, and I was sort of living them at the same time as playing it, and it was just this uncomfortable sort of state to be in. But you know, my friend said to me today, yeah, but you lived in you lived in courage, not comfort, and that's something that is amazing. And I just thought that that was such a powerful statement and something that I strive for in my life. So despite the anxiety and the experience I'm watching it, I think that has to be the takeaway. So I hope that, you know, when you ask me the question, that's what I hope by doing that it sort of showcased, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And then of course the song went to like #1 on like holiday charts or something like that.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
Your reaction to that.
Wasn't it like #1 in Argentina or something?
Or something like that.
#1 in Argentina, #2 in Brazil. Yeah.
Brazil really like.
Obrigada, Brazil.
Yeah.
Obrigada.
Yeah. Exactly. Muito obrigada. Yeah, it was totally unexpected, I have to say. Didn't ever expect that one to. It's mad. You can't. I find it very difficult to comprehend those sorts of things, to tell you the truth.
Never underestimate the
I sort of get the information and I go, it's true. And you know, Laura and Janelle, who was saying about how you know, warm everyone has been to witness for the first time again, hearing them sort of relay that information, because I mean, this community is unstoppable and so graceful and so amazing, and they have been such a big part of my journey. So it's really nice to hear, you know, other people's experiences going into that. Yeah, lots of gratitude for all these amazing humans.
Well, thanks for letting us be a part of your journey too. Oh, did you not hear? I said thank you for letting us be a part of your journey as well.
Oh.
All right, well, this question is for all of you. This cast and crew are made up of members of the LGBT community and fierce allies. How important was it for all of you to get this right? Since this was like gonna be like the rom-com of all Christmas rom-coms for the queer community.
Yeah, I'll start because from the very beginning, from the script to casting, it was the only thing we had in mind was making sure we did it right for the community. Like just at every moment, at every turn, I think we very much felt the very positive pressure, but like that kind of pressure to make sure like we didn't F this up. And so like it just, decision-making process was, you know, for this, I think was probably a lot more, we talked about every single thing from, you know, Kat's script.
Great script, by the way. Rock on Kat. Kat's one of my dear friends. So hi, Kat.
She's an amazing, but yeah, I mean, she had that going into it in the writing, and then we had it in everything from, you know, casting to just wardrobe and moments. And yeah, so we, you know, and I think we also know there's no way to get it right for everyone, right? Like there's just not a way to hit the full alphabet on pleasing everyone. So we just tried to get as many letters as we could, to use a, you know, a weird metaphor. So we just, yeah, that was just always in the forefront.
Any of you else want to chime in?
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. Sandra can go. Okay.
Okay, so Cassandra is saying, for me being involved with this film, yes. For me being involved with this film as a deaf person, you know, being involved in the film was amazing. And the script was absolutely amazing. The deaf character was great. And then they brought in the ASL consultant who was also deaf on set. And it worked out with the interpreter. And we were able to get the interpreter that I wanted, who was Ashley. But for me, I was struggling was the queer part. Because right before doing this film, I was just trying to find myself. I've always been, quote, on both teams, you know, go on both sides. I've grown up, I've never really, maybe the right sign is come out, because I did come out, but at the same time, I didn't come out. I grew up around gay and lesbian friends, and I grew up around in the queer community, and I was a big part of it. And I've always been identified, but I'd never actually had a label. And so I've always said that. I've always said this, I'm straight, I'm not bi, I'm not gay, I didn't know what I was, you know? And then when I got involved with this film, The Season of Love, I was nervous. I thought, but maybe I'm, you know, struggling, but you know what, I decided yes. And then I was chatting with some of my close friends and how they think and how maybe they can help me interpret my feelings. And after doing the film, I found myself even more understanding myself than I did before. And I identify myself as pansexual. And really, it was just, this film really helped me in my first queer role, being so indecisive of myself and not really sure, but I was able to kind of mix it all together and able to do it. So that's, again, the journey of an actor. I was able to find myself more through each character that I play, for me at least. So really, I'm happy that I was able to have this moment of comfort with who I am. And they always tell me I'm a deaf actor, but now, can I say it? I'm a deaf queer actor? Is it a queer deaf actor? Which one, you know, whatever you prefer. But, you know, I'm still figuring that part out. But it just really has helped me out, feeling like I can represent, and I did represent both communities.
You absolutely did beautifully.
I mean, that was so amazing. I feel like we could end the Zoom.
And we're done. Thanks everyone for coming.
Yeah, I need a moment.
These are the moments I live for as the moderators.
But I was going to say partners interestingly with that, because Iris is the only character that is identified as bi in the film itself. And I also am bi, you know, that word is weird. I think to me, bi and pan are like the same thing, but I don't know, maybe they're not. But anyway, more importantly, I had an opportunity for the first time to play a bi character. And the experience of being a bi or queer woman in a relationship with a man, and how everyone then assumes that you're straight, and that's how complicated that is. And I just loved being able to give voice and to that reality, and especially because it was like comedic when Mardu finds out that Iris is bi, and then it's also like part of their love story. It's like it ties in so well to their story and the suspense, and like, so that was just such a wonderful experience for me. And like, so that took the pressure off getting it right. I was like, I understand this, and I want to do this the way that would make me happy. So I was able to like not worry about the other people in the queer community who were hoping to see themselves. And, you know, and I find when you get specific, then it becomes more universal.
Well, a lot of people did see themselves in Iris. I think that the fact that at the end there, she tried to, you know, just says this really nonchalantly that she's bisexual. And it's kind of like this moment like of, oh, okay. I think that that was really beautiful moment for a lot of people who identified with that.
Good.
I love that moment.
Oh,
it's
no, Lord, go.
No, go ahead. I'm just interjecting to say that's one of my favorite moments.
Well, what I was going to say was incorporating kind of what Jessica had said, I don't know, probably 20, 30 minutes ago, about the support on this set. And so when you talk about like getting it right, I was really nervous going into this film. And then the moment I actually talked with Kristen on the phone before I met her, and then the moment I got on set, just the support and the collaboration, and then meeting the other cast members, I think at the end of the day, this became so much less about me trying to get it right, and then just creating something that we're all so proud of and doing it together. And I just think I I wasn't scared once we started shooting because everyone on set was just incredible. And I think that hopefully shines through in the final product, just the support we showed each other. And I've, people have reached out to me who are Asian and going through exploring, their identities. And that's meant a lot to me. Just my mom came to the soundtrack party and met a bunch of fans. And I think that's just been such an incredible experience because sort of what Kristen said, you're not going to necessarily please all the letters of the alphabet, but knowing that at least one or two people, I've gotten messages, I might not respond to all of them, but I read all of them. And I got a message from someone who I think was maybe like 13 years old and Asian and trying to figure out, personal identity. And to me, that I don't even care about whatever I had in my mind about getting it right at this point, because now it's become so much greater than getting it right.
You put something out there into the world and it becomes like so much bigger than like just one person or a community.
It was built together and it's still building. Like whatever this is, I mean, it's May and it was a Christmas movie. Whatever it is, it's like this living organism that just keeps getting better. We're all contributing to it.
One of my friends literally purchased it and watched it like about 4 days ago at 2 a.m. in the morning. She was like, I loved it.
It's a good movie for right now.
Like, I just needed a movie like that. I was like,
if that keeps on giving.
It's a quarantine gift. And just to like sprinkle in a little bit of my input, like for me too, like the whole experience from the moment that I got to be a part of it. Like I remember with Kristen, we were doing wardrobe and it's like, is this something Janie would wear? Like we talked about certain things that like I never had the opportunity to talk about like on sets, because sometimes they just make these decisions for you and they don't include the actor, so that was like a unique experience for me. And then of course, like I have to give a big shout out to Dom, because like I was very nervous. We hadn't had like any chemistry reads or anything before, so like I just knew everything was gonna be okay when like she held my hand on set for like that scene that we were in the couch, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be okay, like she's got me. And it made me feel like extremely comfortable, because I didn't know how to act either. I'm like, am I doing this right?
You did it right. You did it right. All right, I have a very serious question for all of you. What's your favorite holiday movie?
Season of Love?
Yeah, you mean other than
listen to this.
Yeah.
Obviously, Season of Love. Obviously, is number one, but my number two must holiday is Family Stone. That's my other.
Oh, I love that one.
Movie. Why? Because the deaf character is in there, and I remember when I was younger, I saw that deaf character, and I had a huge crush on him. Tyrone is his name, and he's deaf. And I saw that deaf character, and I was like, oh my, hubba, that I could see myself.
Yes.
And there was the first Christmas deaf movie I ever seen, or a deaf person involved. So now it's more a Season of Love, of course, but we do need more. Come on, more deaf actors. Yeah, they can be deaf, but all actors. We need more movies like this too.
Everything Sandra just said. My personal favorite is Die Hard, which is absolutely a Christmas movie, and I think that there should be a female-led one. I volunteer as a tribute.
Janelle, what about you?
Brilliant.
Oh, I'm pointing like she knows that I'm pointing at her. Janelle, what did you say was yours? You're on mute.
Me.
You're on mute, baby.
Oh, what's that? Oh, there I am. I'm good.
Yeah, you're there.
I was saying that since I'm on the phone, I don't see everyone. Like usually
okay.
I'll see it when you guys talk. Yeah. Season of Love is first, of course.
That shit.
Yeah. Season of Love, of course. And then after that, I'm like torn between like I'm kind of goofy and silly. So I love The Grinch, and I also love, if you want like a little bit more heartfelt, Miracle on 34th Street. It's a very old movie, 1947, but
we would. What about you, Emily?
Oh gosh, I see like a lot of movies have a lot of problems. and I see the problems, but I still love Love Actually. Like I love, oh my God.
I was gonna say that.
Oh my God, I forgot her name. I'm gonna kill myself. Oh my God, who's her name? What's her name, you guys?
Oh, Season of Love, basically.
Oh, Season of Love? No.
No. I'm saying because Season of Love is literally Love Actually with a bunch of queer women.
Yeah, totally.
Keira Knightley.
Except without Emma Thompson. And like,
I think that scene makes me sob when she unwraps the CD.
Oh my God. It's so, I do love, I'll say Love Actually. I'm not a big fan of holiday movies, so that's what I got.
What about you, Dom?
I don't know if you'd call it a holiday movie, but I am very fond of Serendipity. Which I think you would class as, huh?
There's snow in it.
No.
Tons of snow.
It doesn't it? Because get the gloves and thing. But my other one would be Love Actually. I have to say, that was when you said it, I was like, yeah, that was mine. I definitely used to watch Love Actually. It's like that scene that you have, Sandra, where you're like, what, are we going to watch Love Actually again? Like, that's what we're going to do. That was me and my housemates for a small period of time. Like, oh, so cute.
I definitely watch that one every year. Die Hard, Love Actually,
yeah, it's a classic, eh?
Yeah, and I'm like,
gotta be done, isn't it? Yeah.
Like that, but I love this movie.
Lark?
Yeah, that's the thing though, it's bad representation. Most Christmas movies are.
I'm kind of kicking myself because we were asked this question at the premiere and I gave an answer, and then I should have been doing more research since then to actually figure out what my favorite Christmas movie is. So I'll stick with my same answer, which is Elf, because I love comedies, and I don't know, Elf is great in my book. It's a classic. But yeah, I'll make sure to do more research on this question the next time I'm asked that. But I'll never forget Jessica's answer of Die Hard, though. That's a good one.
Ashley, what about you?
Oh my gosh. My favorite movie would probably have to be, if Sandra doesn't mind, I'm answering. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, that is my absolute favorite.
And Kristen.
I love, like Laura, my answer is probably gonna be the same as the premiere, but I love Elf, and also A Christmas Story. I just think that's such a great 1950s, you'll shoot your eye out, the kind of those classic moments. So those two.
All good films. I'm going to share mine. Not that anyone cares, but it's so random, and that's why I have to share. It's The 12 Men of Christmas, which strange for a lesbian to love. Stars Kristen Chenoweth. Takes place in Kalispell, Montana. Check it out.
I've never seen that one.
I've never even heard of it.
It's so fun. It's so fun. Watch it.
I love Kristen Chenoweth. She's phenomenal. So
exactly. So you have to love it. All right. We're gonna just do a couple audience here questions that we got in, because I know we're getting late. And let's see. Let me see. Oh, okay. So this question is from Laura. Was there any backstory that sadly had to be cut that would have explained the relationships differently, or any backstory that the actors created for their characters that they wanted to share?
Ooh, good question, Laura.
I'm really trying to think.
What ended up on the cutting room floor, Kristen?
Yeah, there were no backstories that were cut. We did cut like one or two scenes, but they weren't any backstory scenes that would have explained anything. So no, nothing on the cutting room floor.
Right. We did have to cut the initial reuniting of Janelle Janelle, what's your character's name again? I've just had a mind blank.
So close to mine.
Love is dead.
Jake.
watched it this morning. That just shows you how bad my memory is, and that's why I need to watch things before panels. Bloody hell.
What's in that tea, Dominique?
Too much maple syrup.
Yeah, it's the maple syrup and also just my brain in general. But I appreciate that you're blaming it on the maple syrup. Anyway, yes, we had to cut our initial, like our first reuniting after all of that time, which I have to say is something that I do wish that we had had the opportunity to film, because I think it would have been nice to see those characters, that first moment, to catch that, you know. But sometimes in filming we just ran out of time, and unfortunately it was one of those days we just had to choose either the Janie rap or the initial scene, and it was just one of those things, wasn't it, Kristen? And it's not the end of the world, but I think it would have been nice to see.
I totally agree.
That moment of them two coming back and what the really.
However, the rap, and I know like you just, there were tons of different takes and you just did different ones each time, but that you were phenomenal, Janelle. Like that, I was dying.
You just made those
and then you were dancing up with her, and like, oh, it was just, you really, that was the sense of your relationship.
Thank you. No, honestly, that was for me, like, for me, Janelle. I think like not even Janelle, like actress Janelle. Like just me, like it was more like, oh shit, like you gotta do this. You just gotta go up there and I'm gonna curse, sorry, just fuck it. Just go. No thinking. Cause I always say this, I'm like, I think that like when I was reading the script, I imagined like, oh, it's just gonna fade out to black. She doesn't really need she doesn't need a full rap. And they just kept rolling, and I was just like, well, we're gonna keep on going with these lyrics, Red Rover, Red Rover.
Yeah, we all learned that Kristen just keeps rolling, basically, and creativity. But Janelle's raps, I think, I would have died inside. I cannot believe you did so amazingly. So,
Thank you.
I know that the main storylines involve us, but one, I guess, coupling that I would love to know more about their backstory is actually Kenna and Charlie's. To me, that relationship is so great.
Oh man, that was one thing that many people, they did tell me, they said, people who know sign language, and they always give me feedback, you know, people that I work with. So he is my friend, and they saw Season of Love, and my chemistry with the actor Matthew, who plays Charlie, there wasn't any big feedback from me because I kind of looked so natural, and I didn't have to, you know, figure out what signs we were going to use normally for ASL. It all looked good. What they were doing, I was signing slower based on the hearing actor. That's usually based on the hearing actor's ability. But I do like the authenticity of showing that when I was going there, it just looked good. I didn't have to do that part. So, but with him, who his character's name is Charlie, of course, he already knew sign language, and he knew it very well. And also he can improv, and I could too. And it was just the chemistry. I didn't have to try and make him understand me. It was, it was just a great moment, and we played, and it was like we had the same language, and that felt like my best work so far was in Season of Love after that, because I was able to develop the confidence with that. So, but in real life, signing could be difficult with new people, but with on screen, you know, it looked great.
It did. It was such a delightful thing to watch, and the interactions between you two, and like just the chemistry. It was great.
Yeah, I loved you, Maddie.
It could have become a sitcom almost. You know what I mean? Like a 15-minute show in between Kenna and Charlie. You know, Kenna and Charlie show.
I like it.
I would watch it.
I would totally watch it.
All right, I'm just gonna do. I'm so sorry to people questions, but we try to keep these about an hour, and we are quickly approaching that. I'm just gonna have one more question for all of you, okay? Let's see here. All right, this is Jess. Jess wants to know, if you could play any other character in the film besides your own, which character would you play and why?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
you're all thinking.
So hard.
I want to play Iris. Iris, her character. Everybody was great. You know, the character arc though, Iris's character arc, you know, the emotional up and down. Ugh, that was good. I think Iris.
Jess, let's go with you.
I so totally loved Lou and identified with her that I don't think I can even answer that. I mean, I really, really related to performance anxiety and everything that Dominique's character went through, but nobody would sit in the theater if I sang. So that would take that out. Yeah, Lou was the very first time that I got to play a character that was, you know, had her insecurities and sort of had her heart on her sleeve and wasn't particularly polished in her personal life. And that is so much more a part of Jessica than people realize. And I usually play like really well put together people or supernatural people that, you know, created the world. So I just am much more of a dork with really bad anxiety. So I just loved Lou. Sorry, I can't answer that. But great question, Jess. Great
Janelle,
name.
what about
Great
you?
name.
Yeah, this one's a hard one because I like really love Janie, and like I love how much she just cares so much for her partner. So just like, and I relate, you know, like in that sense of like who I am as a person. I will say like Jessica's character, like the dorkiness and like little awkward bits. I'm like, I related to that too. That made me laugh because a lot of the stuff would happen to Lou. I'm like, what would have happened to me? Like with the whole like miscommunication with your neighbor. Of like, that is something that is so relatable. So, like maybe like a little like sprinkle in some Lou in there. But I really love Janie.
Dominique, what about you?
I think I'd have to go for Lou as well, actually, because I think actually the primary reason why I would have really liked to have that experience would be to get the opportunity to work with Sandra and learn a bit of ALS and sort of dive into that world a little bit. I think that's an incredible opportunity, and also, yeah, just super funny and dorky. And that would have also been a really wicked experience too.
Emily?
I mean, this is such a fun question. I think Mardu, because I like to be the pursuer sometimes, often, and I love being in that position of like, you know, I think that's fun. I would have had fun with that. But everyone, so their roles so great. Like it's just like a fun thought experiment. It's impossible to imagine this movie any other way.
And Laura.
Yeah, I love Mardu, but I actually think that I would want to play Janie. I think she has a really interesting story. She just got back from deployment. I think there's a lot of strength about Janie's character. She's about to propose. Like I just think there's a lot of elements to her. She's so strong and yet she's just so unconditional. Maybe she shares a lot of similarities with Mardu in certain ways, but I think she'd be a really fun character to explore.
Well, I want to thank every single one of you. Thank you all so much for doing this. And thank you to everybody who is watching. I know it was such a devastating bummer to not be able to be physically together this year in Las Vegas for ClexaCon. But this, I hope, is some sort of balm to your heart. And a huge thank you to Stacy at ClexaCon, who has done an incredible job putting together this virtual film festival and panels. That's a ton of work, and she never stops smiling, and very much appreciate that. So thank you, all of you. You're amazing. What a lovely time I had tonight.
Anna, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Dana.
Stay
Thanks,
well.
guys.